NXT was good yesterday, but I have no idea what happened
Hello
Friday.
and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I got a lot of stuff that we'd like to discuss today. Apparently, Perry Saturn got shot a couple times. Can't wait to hear about this. I have not read this article yet. And it's me and Tom's favorite time of year. The 2024 Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards have been released, and Tom and I will dive into all of the Meltzer Mania. Jey Uso picks Gunther with his Royal Rumble win. Charlotte declares against Tiffany Stratton. Jordynne Grace makes her NXT debut, and Ricky Starks has arrived in WWE. Lots of other news and rumors and fun stuff. Can't wait to get into it. Should be a pretty fun show for me and Mr. Tom here today.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
What's up, dude?
Nothing. It's been a very busy couple of days, but I've watched some wrestling.
Yeah, I've watched
Not
some
all.
wrestling too. But
No idea
fortunately
what
for
happened.
us,
No idea what happened Friday.
the bulk of our show is all internet drama
I know.
today.
I know.
So,
it's so good.
You
It's
know,
an exciting. I have seen all of these, so I'm excited to discuss this.
Yes. Can't wait to dive into the Meltzer Mania Awards. It's our annual show on our opinions
What were they smoking? Kind of a
on
deal.
the Meltzer Mania Awards. Seems like they got some of them right this year.
It wasn't as egregious as years past.
Yeah, so I can't wait to dive into that. But first and foremost, man, I need to know about this Perry Saturn and two strippers thing. Like, I didn't see this article, so you're gonna have to clue me in on this piece of business.
We switched microphones because I realized I was talking through a camera, so that should be better. All right. So honestly, like the article itself didn't really give more information than what that was. Apparently, Perry Saturn just was involved with a stripper who the said stripper was going to get shot. Instead, Perry Saturn stepped in, was shot instead. This was just an article. When I sent it to you, it was just one of those articles that was like the words in the article sort of were. I had no idea where it was going. Let me read the exact words here. Ex-WWE star Perry Saturn nearly died after getting shot twice while defending a stripper. That's one of those things where it's like you don't know what's going to happen when the next line hits, but
Right.
It just keeps going, and you're like, what the fuck? So yeah, that's why he was in such rough shape, and why every time you see Perry Saturn, you're like, what? I mean, that's not the only reason, but like, when you see Perry Saturn, you're like, Jesus, what happened to Perry Saturn? He got shot defending a stripper. I mean, he was already sort of falling apart anyway, but like.
So these are old war wounds then? Is that what we're...
Yes, but he has come out.
This news story just came to light. He probably did a tell-all interview because...
Yes.
What all
did a tell-all interview. Because remember, every time, the last time we saw Perry Saturn, we saw, like, somebody just took a picture of him, like, in public. And they were like, Perry Saturn looks like shit. We're like, holy shit, like Perry Saturn looks bad. Is Perry Saturn dying? Apparently, this is what happened. Perry Saturn was shot and has been recovering and is still, not a spring chicken after these bullet wounds. So that solves the question. What the fuck happened to Perry Saturn? He was shot defending a stripper, which... If you think about Perry Saturn and all of his gimmicks and his career, all that checks out. I think
Yeah, for sure.
That's it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Okay.
No argument here.
Yeah. All right. Well, that at least that answers that question, because I knew we had that question the last time we saw him. It was like, was it drugs? Was it no? He was shot and almost died. And
so I
involved.
actually recently just saw he was featured in a Maven YouTube video. Because I guess Saturn didn't really care for Maven all that much whenever Maven had won Tough Enough and, then got the big spotlight with The Undertaker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I have yet to watch that YouTube video, but, he looked like shit in that picture in the little, the thumbnail clip that you get.
He still doesn't look good. Like he looks bad.
No, yeah, it didn't look good at all. So I don't know. Shout out to Saturn, man. Hopefully he can
continue to live. I mean, that's really at this point the guy's just hanging on to life, really.
Quit duffing it into the rough on the back nine, so to speak. So
yeah, whatever you're doing ain't working. Talk to DDP, get some DDP yoga going or something. I'm sure DDP's got some kind of DDP yoga for bullet wounds.
Well, who's down there right now with DDP? I know Butterbean's there, but who else is there?
So is oh god, I can see him. The narcissist.
Lex Luger.
Lex is down there with him because now like Lex is in a wheelchair because he was falling down, according to DDP. And now he's doing the DDP yoga out of a chair.
Well, I mean, I've listened to some podcast. It might have been Chris Van Vliet.
Oh, so DDP was on Chris Van Vliet.
He was like,
about that.
Yeah, he was like, man, it's not a matter of, if, it's a matter of when we can get Lex Luger to walk again. So I think that's an interesting outlook on this whole thing.
He's a very positive guy, DDP.
Yeah,
I don't know that. I mean, but you saw how good Scott Hall looked after DDP got his hooks in him for a little while. It's unfortunate that Scott fell back off the wagon and is no longer with us. But man, he turned Scott Hall. Scott Hall looked like a saggy bag of assholes for a while and was back up and looking.
Look what he did for Jake Roberts too.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake Roberts would be Jake Roberts looks. He don't look great. But
what did he say? 14 years he's been sober now, I think is what he said. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that seems about right.
Yeah. Well, he used to carry everybody's gimmick around in a coffee can in that bag with the snake. So
yeah.
By gimmick, it was balls of cocaine, but
yes.
But it was in the bag. It was in the bag with the snake.
Nothing beats the story of him holding up the promoter for crack cocaine.
Yeah. Well, certain guys you don't fuck with. That my other favorite thing about him is that he would just be back there chain smoking. Never went to the gym. Didn't watch what he ate. All right, Jake, you're up. All right, throw the cigarette down, stomp it out, go and have a great match.
You're working with Macho Man tonight. Okay. I think old Jake can handle this one. Yeah. Give me the bag.
Yeah.
No. The bag with the snake, not the bag with the rock.
Yeah, bag with the snake. Dude's built. He's made of something else.
Look into my eyes and tell me that you don't have my drugs. What a fucking top-notch performer Jake Roberts was.
What a terrifying human being Jake Roberts is. Current day, if Jake Roberts was mad at me, I would be afraid.
I don't know. He's pretty frail, bro. I think you could probably just,
Yeah, he did give somebody a DDT on AEW not too terribly long ago, though.
Yeah.
I want to say it was Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks.
It was like 2 years ago, but still.
So. Hey, so speaking of other people beating other people's asses, so apparently Odyssey Jones and his ex-girlfriend, Malith Nunes.
Yeah, she has a great name.
Has reached a new level with Odyssey Jones is officially suing her for slander.
Yeah.
According to court records from Orange County, Florida, Palmer filed a lawsuit on January 20th, 2025. Palmer being Odyssey Jones. I'm sorry, I did not use his government. So Odyssey Jones filed a lawsuit on January 20th seeking over $100,000 in damages. The case remains pending as of January 29th. So that was like their last official posting. Lawsuit states that Nunes made false verbal and written statements about Odyssey Jones between May and July of 2024 to the TKO Group, WWE's parent company, in several news outlets. The complaint claims these accusations were categorically false and maliciously made with actual knowledge of the statement's falsity. Odyssey Jones goes on to argue that the ex-girlfriend's claim directly led to WWE terminating his contract in 2024. The lawsuit states, as a result of the false and malicious written and verbal statements, the defendant was terminated from his employment with TKO Group. Odyssey Jones is suing for actual, special, and punitive damages, along with pre- and post-judgment interest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of that's disputable, to be honest. I think that this all played out on television and live and on the internet. So, like, I mean, he was let go, and those allegations were released by several news outlets, confirming that these were the allegations and that TKO knew about it, and they had done some digging and spoke to some people. Clearly, they spoke to her. And she said, yeah, he beat the shit out of me. And I mean, he's a huge guy, like that's, but yeah, I mean, alleged, like the court found him innocent. Like she had no real evidence. And he was exonerated of all charges. And so now him suing her, she's going to be in trouble. Like, she's going to be like, she's going to be in a lot of trouble for that. Like she's going to owe him millions of dollars. Like the court is going to, the present day, that kind of shit is going to get the book thrown at you.
Yeah, I mean, because the social climate surrounding the equality of men and women, right? Like,
that shit's going to get the book thrown at you right now. Like, that's not you don't get to cry. That's you don't get to cry. Well, I wanted to do something bad, and like you don't just get a slap on the wrist for that in today's climate. You're fucked. Like,
it's going to be really interesting to watch all this play out, right? And the weird thing is, like, a lot of that news broke after Odyssey Jones had been released from his contract.
Yeah.
He was there with the New Day doing their whole thing, and which led to quite the pivot. And now the New Day are heels later than anticipated, from what we've been led to believe, based on what the creative plans were surrounding this Odyssey Jones thing. Yeah. Perhaps Woodsy was supposed to go out on his own, with this Odyssey Jones thing. And now here we are, Woods and Kofi are got just white hot heat brewing everywhere they go.
New Day sucks.
Yeah. Everybody just fucks with the New Day now, and that's been a lot of fun. So I guess we've got
I mean, it seems like they made chicken salad. They made chicken salad out of chicken shit, but it sucks for Odyssey Jones because like that guy sat in catering for a year before they did anything with him. Like that's bullshit. So I hope that if this is all indeed the way that it is, and that it was a malicious lie to get him fired, to like get back at him for breaking up with her or whatever the reasoning is behind it, I hope that justice is served here, because it's man, what a like pull the rug out from under the guy. Like it's just clearly anybody who's in WWE, like this has been your dream. You've been working on this for the majority of your life, and to just have that ripped out from underneath you, seemingly based on what's going on for no good reason other than you made somebody upset and they were so petty that they decided to ruin your life and career about it. So, I hope that justice is served with him. I would hope that WWE it takes another chance of looking
Not
at
a
him. I doubt
chance.
that they will.
Not a fucking chance.
I don't think
I
they
mean,
will.
you look at the Velveteen Dream, for instance, right? Like
Yeah.
that whole thing, and it's really all going to come down to what public perception always will be.
Yeah.
I've dealt with this in my own real life this past week, and the court of public opinion is what it is, and it's not going to change despite what any real facts are, surrounding anything. I mean, good luck to Mr. Omari Parker or Palmer, sorry, formerly known as Odyssey Jones. Hopefully, you can get your shit back in line, and maybe you get a shot at the big time again. But I don't know that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know either. I like you said, it sure seems like a, once it happens, you're basically like, yeah, you could probably get some indie booking dates, but like he wasn't even a big enough deal to like he never really got off the ground. So it's like they couldn't even, he can't even say, I have this name to go on. It's like, but you don't.
But you don't.
You got nothing. Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, hopefully he can get his career on the right path and make a comeback. So
that'd be great.
Hey, so you said you didn't watch Friday, but Joe Tessitore was off on Friday, and it was Wade Barrett at the booth, and I mean, God forbid. Sounds like we could have just plugged Corey Graves right in there, right?
Could have.
Nah, we used Vic Joseph.
I mean, Vic's a good play-by-play guy, but I can't imagine that sat great with Graves. Did Graves say anything?
No, but you know what, dude? His buddy, his partner in crime, old Vic Joseph, during the strap match on Vengeance between Trick Williams and Eddie Thorpe, kind of lobbed one his way, and the internet took notice. And it says here, at one point, Joseph turned to Graves and casually asked if he was planning on returning to social media. A clear reference to the online controversy that had Booker T speaking out on his Hall of Fame podcast. It says here, Graves didn't fire back, but the moment didn't go unnoticed by fans who have been keeping tabs on this real-life tension. And all of this happens after Booker T has had his blunt criticism of Corey Graves. And the speculation about Corey Graves' WWE future on his Hall of Fame podcast, even going as far as to be upset that Corey Graves went to social media as opposed to just keeping it behind closed doors and trying to handle it in a more professional manner.
I mean, I know I watched that. I don't often watch Booker T, but I did watch that. And I couldn't really agree more with Booker in that sense, especially because, you and I had said sort of when this all came to pass, like Corey Graves being on NXT only gives it more credibility and
100%.
just shows and shows that it's really like, and even if, in the ratings and everything sort of prove this to be true, is that NXT is back on the upswing, right? But now, not only like the last time NXT was on the upswing and was like some of the hottest wrestling on television, this was the champ. When Ciampa was the champ, Adam Cole was in the wings with the Undisputed Era. You had you had just had Aleister Black in there.
Drew McIntyre
was this was that like 17, 18, 19, like just sort of swing into what was going on here. And it was, Andrade had one of the best title runs that,
I mean, Zelina Vega made that title run,
but I'm just like, he had his title run was one of the best title runs that's happened in the last 10 years, his NXT title run. And then Ciampa had what might still be my favorite title run ever, when Ciampa was like that super heel champion, would walk out with Goldie to no music and just like fucking boot. Like, it was so good. And then, not to say that like, what Shayna Baszler was doing on the other side of this, Shayna 2 times, she was the second time champ. She was having fantastic matches with everybody, whether it be inside steel cages or just straight up match. She was killing people. And then like sort of like that 2019 point right before Mania, they brought her up to, she was in the Rumble and she was late in the, she was like, you know, stayed late in the Rumble, and then they put her right in the Elimination Chamber, and she had the best women's Elimination Chamber match in my memory ever. She remember she just beat the living fuck out of the Riot Squad. Yep. Like she smashed Liv Morgan into that cage. To this day, like just thinking about it kind of gives me chills, and it's just sort of a like, oh my God, that was amazing. So yeah, it was just a tremendous time for NXT, and I feel like we're finally back to that. Like after Vinnie Mac sort of stripped it down and made it tie-dye and kind of made it shit for a little bit. Not that it was shit, it was fine, but it was like,
I mean, it wasn't great.
It was a shadow of its former glory.
But you know what, though, in hindsight, too, if you look at it now, right, like a lot of those folks that were the face of the tie-dye era are kind of big deals now, right? Like Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, you know,
Braun Breaker. I mean, Braun Breaker was the face of it.
Yeah, you know, and then Tiffany Stratton is another one that was a part of the tie-dye brand. You know, but now you've got you and Tony, you know, Tony D, I think, is the biggest, right?
Yeah.
Like the whole Angelo thing, right? Like,
yeah,
I can never fucking remember.
Tony D'Angelo is who
Tony
he's the family. That at that point in time, they were the family. I guess.
Yeah, but they were just getting started on the tie-dye brand, and now they're a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's a full circle thing, right?
Especially Adriana Rizzo. Who would have thought Rizzo would have come as far as she has? Like, let's be frank. She was just the girl that they stuck in there to have a girl in the group. And, like, think about how far she's come.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, Elektra Lopez got released?
Yeah, she sure did.
That's crazy.
I feel like she just never – she always seemed, like, awkward. You know? It just never seemed like she got – her feet under her. Honestly, I think I'm kind of thinking Santos Escobar is going to be the next one to sort of be chopped in the next round of choppies.
Choppy, pee-pee.
Well, we were sure Santos Escobar was going to be a big deal.
I still think he can be, man. I
don't think he's going to be a big deal in WWE. Maybe he will be the correct answer to what they wanted Andrade to be in AEW, but he is not. Right now he seems like a wet noodle out there.
I do. I think that he still has so much upside, and I don't understand, you know, what the disconnect is there. I mean, I do understand a little bit what the disconnect is. I think that
he's our age too, so he's 40 years old.
Yeah, and I think we let the LWO thing, the feud with him and Ray, go on too long. I think that he should have at some point won the United States Championship by now. You know, I don't think Ray needed to have that championship run, and then I mean it ended up with Logan Paul winning the belt.
Yeah, I think
which was also a giant fucking waste of time and energy. I mean, we know why they did it, but from a storyline standpoint,
it unmade Logan Paul's title run unmade Santos Escobar. It really did, because they brought Logan Paul in. He kind of like diffused that whole feud to win that title, and then that feud became a nothing. And you're right, Ray did not need to hold that as long as he did, and Ray didn't even need that win. Like Santos should have won that from Ray at some point. And when he didn't, and then Logan Paul showed up and took it, it was like, oh well, this is over. There's no wind in these sails, and that's it. So I mean, I would think he's probably soon to go too. I think Elektra Lopez, they thought maybe she was like, well, you know, she kind of works as a valet, but she always kind of looked awkward out there. She was never a great wrestler.
And she wasn't a great talker either. I think she was just something for the boys to look at, you know, from that standpoint. It just added that female presence to that stable.
And And I just don't think that it may. When you got a Zelina Vega out there who can wrestle and
who can talk,
and exactly, and you've got all these other women out there who can wrestle and they can talk. Like you can't, her shelf life was short, and I think she made it about as far as she was gonna. And good on her. She had a career. She had a WWE run.
A lot of people
99.99%. Yeah, most people don't get to say that.
No,
but she got it. But I think her 15 minutes of fame was up, and this is a good release. Good on her for having a career, and getting out there. She didn't do anything egregious that we'll ever think back on. Like, she didn't trip and fall and slide under the mat at the Great Humble.
Worldwide.
None of that. There's nothing egregious from her. She was just, she was a decent valet. She was on, she got some screen time, and her 15 minutes of fame is up, and it's time for her to move on. And you know what? Good for her.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. We'll just see how, all of this, these quiet releases, man. Like, it's been real interesting that it's not been so much fanfare around a lot of these releases as there was in past years.
Well, it's been sort of people that
and it's a weird time of year too.
Yeah, it is, but it's all sort of been people who, when they get released, you're like, oh, okay, well that kind of makes sense. Like you said, the only one that really didn't make sense, I think, was Sonya Deville, and I think we talked about this last week. She told them she wasn't re-signing her contract. Right, and I think it was just a matter of they were already cutting people, and then she probably just said, hey, I'm not going to re-sign. And they were like, all right, well, she can go too. Fuck it. Like, they were just like, well, while we're doing this, let's just do it all.
Well, I mean, allegedly there are creative plans in place for both Rusev and Aleister Black to make WWE returns. I know last week that you said that you're good on Rusev.
I am. Still feel that way? I do still feel that way. I would be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he came back, because I think that he was a Triple H guy in NXT, and I think that Triple H has I don't want to call it an ego or anything like that, but I think that he's got this sort of chip on his shoulder for the guys that were his guys, and he was like, no, I'm going to show the old man that I was right and he was wrong, kind of a thing.
No, I can see that, but I mean, I think that, listen, if we can get Rusev or Miro or fucking, whatever, if he can get the Redeemer character, because the Redeemer character's got a lot of legs, right? Yeah. You can't disagree.
Right, but he would have to be Rusev, the Redeemer, I think. I think if he comes back as Miro, I think that's a mistake, and I think that's immediately wet blanket. He has to come back as the Bulgarian brute Rusev, or Rusev, the Redeemer.
I don't think he'll come back as the Redeemer, in namesake, but character-wise, I could see them making a play on that, because TK was so start and stop with it. It never really got a chance to. The seeds never got a chance to sprout.
No.
And so I don't know. My interest is peaked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in the camp with you where it's like, I could do without him. It's fine. But what if?
Well, so I think that, like I said, I think if Triple H does have a chip on his shoulder to prove to the old man that his guys really no, you're wrong, I was right about this guy, kind of a thing. And so he brings him back just sort of based on that. I think it'll be an interesting thing to watch, because I do think it'll fall flat on its face. I don't think it'll get off the ground. And I think his run won't be as impactful as even his first run as Rusev was, when he came in with the tank and all that shit. Like that stuff was that shit was cool, right? I don't think it'll be.
So that was Lana.
Yeah, right. And now that's not that ship has sailed. So I don't know, because you can't bring Lana back right after the the cuck angle thing.
I mean, they're divorced anyways in real life.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure then that could be as easy as a Macho Man Miss Elizabeth and WCW thing. Hey, I just want to make sure that I take care of her. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I think we're putting the proverbial cart before the horse here. We have to wait and see if any of this even happens. I do believe, though, that we will see Aleister Black sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I can't imagine we won't see him. They might wait until after WrestleMania just because.
Do you think so?
Well, unless they throw him on NXT, I think there's just too many. There's already too many too many torches burning in the fire right now. I think they'll wait because I think he'd get lost in the shuffle between now and WrestleMania, and I don't think that they'd want to do that. I think they want to treat him like a big deal in his return, and I think that just the timing of which because his contract just expired like last Monday or something. Like it's only been like a week.
Yeah, maybe it was 2 Mondays ago. I think was.
But still, it's not been very recent, and he's somebody who would need to go right back to main roster. You know what I mean? Like he would need to be like right back where he was. Like
I agree.
Drop him right. Like they couldn't if they put him on NXT. It's like either we'll see it as a demotion, or he'll see it as a demotion, or it'll just be one of those like. Well, they don't have shit for him between now and WrestleMania, so he's going to beat the shit out of all the like young talent, and I don't think that helps anybody.
No, I don't think that helps anybody either. So, I mean, that's probably a good way to look at it. I mean, and two, another thing that I wanted to touch on while we're talking about it, it seems like we're going to get that U.S. title off of Shinsuke here, probably at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I feel like that when they took his music and changed it to that samurai entrance thing, like a lot of people are into that, and they feel like it's a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, the presentation's great,
but I don't think that it works. I don't know. I felt like I liked
Rock and Roll Shinsuke was the best.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Shinsuke is better. I would prefer to see Rock and Roll Shinsuke over Samurai Shinsuke any day. And I just don't feel like because he's got the title, like he doesn't feel dangerous. Like he's not like coming out and hurting anybody because he's a champ. You know, he's like he just comes out, he wins a match sometimes, and
no, I mean, LA Knight told him fucking on Friday. Well, you didn't watch it.
I wasn't home, couldn't see it.
Okay,
I mean, you tell me what happened.
So LA Knight and Miz had a number one contendership match. LA Knight beat the Miz. It put Miz in a really good spot too, I think, for his return to SmackDown. But LA Knight told him, he was like, you know, you and the former champ that, what did he call him? Called him an ass clown or something. Logan Paul, you know, have exactly 3 title defenses between the two of you. He was like, and then you got me. I'm out here every week putting foot to ass defending that title.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, says Shinsuke sucks. We're gonna do this again.
He doesn't suck, but this presentation sucks.
I mean, this title reign has been. This might be worse. This has to be worse to you than Kenny Omega's title run in AEW.
Oh yeah, this is awful. Like this is a god awful. This absolutely 100% it is. He doesn't defend it, and like he's not
even been on TV, bro.
Yeah, well, he is for like a minute. Wasn't he in a match that was like a non-title match and he lost?
I don't recall
They're
that.
like, oh, maybe if you win, you get a title shot. One of those, like maybe if you win, you get a title shot in the future. Oh, yuck! Like, what is the literal worst like way to bring out your?
Hey man, all I know is Chelsea Green got pinned on Friday too.
Yeah, I mean,
clean.
Her title reign's not going to be long either. Only because she's in the God. That whole thing I don't like because it's like I've told you my thoughts on.
I think that she's trying to elevate the other women around her and not focusing enough on elevating herself. That's how I feel.
Maybe, but like I've told you, I mean, you know my thoughts on Michin, and she seems to be the one who always comes out on top, despite never actually having a title. It's just bad, man. It's like it gives me bad feelings. You know, I have bad feelings about it. So I can't imagine that's gonna end the way that would be satisfying to me. You have a problem. Go fix your problem, buddy. You get a problem.
My margarita's empty.
You got a problem.
I'm so sad. I don't even have any whiskey clothes. Oh, well.
Another margarita somewhere?
I have to go upstairs and get the ice, and then I have to squeeze the lime, and then
you made it. You made it for real. I mean, I know that you would, but I'm gonna have me a margarita. Should have had 2 margaritas.
Well, I had 2 with dinner.
Oh.
That's what prompted this idea.
Oh.
What'd she say?
So you've heard the give me 4 margaritas. I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's bullshit. Give my wife one margarita, she'll be dead.
Well, I was walking around when that song was popular. Give me 4 margaritas. I'm gonna put them in my ass because I thought it was funny.
Hey, listen, whatever you do inside the privacy of your home is none of our business. Okay?
Walter doesn't
I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times I have to tell you about this, sir. Okay. Now we're talking about. It's not bad enough that we were talking about BJs and ZJs and Handy Js and fucking under the table in the fucking movie theater.
We were just talking about how BJ sells beer. That's all we were talking about.
And now we're talking about margaritas in our booties. I just don't.
Maybe we're not boofing the margaritas.
Like what are we doing here?
I don't put things in my butt. I feel like I'm too old for that.
It's just weird. I
feel like a break. I don't want to break.
I feel like it's what these young cats are into. It's just like, all this weird shit.
I mean, what are you gonna do about it? I don't know.
So, there's some interesting folks out here in the wild.
They didn't get made fun of for liking anime when they were kids, so.
Oh, anime is kind of sexy now, right?
No, you should still get made fun of for liking anime.
Well, when we were growing up, that was the case. But I thought that anime was sexy now. People were like, yeah, anime. Oh,
yeah, but that's the mistake we made. Should have just kept making fun of those kids.
Well, you said that, not me.
I'm just saying.
Hey, so interesting. We were talking about WrestleMania and post WrestleMania. As we approach the grandest show of them all, the granddaddy of them all, the grandest stage in all of sports entertainment. Oh, that's good shit, pal. What comes with WrestleMania week? WWE Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Michelle McCool got added to the list this week.
I saw that and I was like, hell yeah, she did. I love that.
I love that too. I think that's great. I think that's great. I like the way that they did it. That was really cool. So as we continue to add to the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025, headlined by Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, and now co-headlined by Michelle McCool. The names are starting to flow, right? Because we're in the season, and then we got to start doing the promos. And
how many times have we put Mick Foley in the Hall of Fame? Just one?
Is he in there? Yeah, I think he's in
there. Got to be in there once.
I think he's in there as Mick Foley.
Right. So, we can still do Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love?
I don't think they need to because they put Mick Foley in.
Yeah, but I would love to see, they could do it 4 times. He could be a 4-time Hall of Famer, and I'd be good with it.
4-time Hall of Famer.
I'm just saying, to me, that would be honestly what they ought to do is do it all in the same Hall of Fame. have Mankind, Dude Love.
Have a nice day.
Yeah, but have him be inducted into the Hall of Fame 3 separate times on the same day. That'd be fucking. That'd
be cinematic.
I would love that. That to me would be and then we'd have to refer to him as a 4-time Hall of Famer. That to me would be amazing.
And
all of that shit's iconic too. You hear those songs and immediately you're just like love it.
I think that there's been some interesting names floated around.
But as far as Michelle McCool is concerned, like let's focus on like she's one of those like early like women who was like actually really good at wrestling.
Yes. Like she was like right behind Trish and Lita and that whole thing, and came in there and
it was like her and Molly Holly were like the really solid like women in the ring, and it was like, okay, well they're built like wrestlers, they wrestle like wrestlers, they're just good. They're good at wrestling.
I love listening to her famously tell the story about how they were getting yelled at for having too many, that they were having too many spots, right? Like too many real wrestling move spots.
Yeah.
And Finley was like coaching them up, and they would have to, if somebody would like show up when they were, they were practicing or whatever, they would have to stop and like do other things because they were trying to hide that they were actually working on their wrestling moves. And Vince McMahon had famously made the quote, "Their punches look better than the men," and Finley said, "Well, that sounds like their fucking problem."
Yeah.
And I love hearing Michelle McCool tell that story because she was, like you said, one of those like good-looking women that they were out there, those athletic 10s that we always hear that Vince was after, out there just putting fucking foot to ass and giving women's wrestling a chance, which really I think helped put them in the situation that they are able to be in today.
Like if there's no Michelle McCool, there's no Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean? Like there's no Becky Lynch.
What?
No, I'm telling you, there's no Bayley. There's no Sasha Banks.
That's high praise for
there's no Tiffany Stratton. Like not her by herself, but if Michelle McCool doesn't come along and be a legit, you feel like, oh shit, those punches are landing. Like if you're just looking at the Bellas, and it's not just her, like Beth Phoenix, I think is similarly like you can give similar praise to her, and like Beth and Michelle had a couple great feuds too, and so there's a lot of women in that category, but I think Michelle McCool to
Mickey James is another one in that.
Absolutely, but Michelle McCool always stood
out. What's in the bag, Mickey?
What's in the bag? It was just the junk that was in her locker, dude. It's all it was. Some sweatpants, some sweatshirts.
We made a big fucking deal about some locker junk, and I just want to know what is in the bag.
A Gatorade bottle or two, like nothing crazy. But no, I think Michelle McCool is one of those because if you remember, like she like besides being like obviously gorgeous, like she looked like she was jacked. The prime of her career, and she's still currently like she was just in a Rumble a couple of years ago, or maybe it was like 2020 or 2021.
It wasn't this one here. It was the last year she was in.
Yeah, she looked great. Like she looked big and jacked and in shape, and she fucking up people, and like I was like, hell yeah, because like she
was in this year's Rumble.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was.
No. Nah, 2023.
No.
2023 was the Rumble she was in.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
And 2018 prior to that. Okay. 18, 22, and 23. So she was in 22 and 23.
Okay.
But not 25. But 22, 23, not 24, not 25.
Okay. Why did I think she was in the Rumble?
Because she was in 22 and 23. Back to back. So you just assumed Michelle McCool came back. But she didn't. Nikki Bella came back.
Oh, yeah. No, nobody cares.
And nobody cares, but like...
I certainly don't.
I think that's a mistake. They should have brought Michelle back instead of Nikki Bella, but that's neither here nor there.
That doesn't make me all tingle-wingle, you know what I mean?
No.
So, anyway, congratulations to Michelle McCool. That's pretty fucking awesome. So, look
greatly deserved. I was excited when I heard it.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Undertaker's probably going to be the one that inducts his wife into the Hall of Fame. Who knows? Maybe it's Molly Holly. Maybe
that would be great. Actually, I hope it's Molly Holly.
Or Finley would be good, I think. And
Finley would be great.
So, as the class of 2025 continues to shake out, the rumors have started, and interesting little piece of information. Do you recall a little tag team from the late 80s, early 90s that went by the name of Axe and Smash?
Yeah.
Possibly, better known to the masses as Demolition, or perhaps the WWE's ripoff version of the Road Warriors.
Yeah. Those guys were still wrestling as Demolition like 5 years ago.
Well, they've just recently very quietly signed a WWE Legends deal, so I assume that Axe and Smash, the former Demolition, will be added to this list.
That'd
very,
be great.
very shortly.
I loved Demolition. I thought Demolition was awesome, especially like in their prime, like in the very early 90s, like when that shit was on, like because they beat the shit out of the Bushwhackers.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, wants us to remember that Crush was also
Crush.
Unfortunately, though, Mr. Patrick, Crush is no longer with us. And quite honestly, when they added Crush to the Demolition,
that was the end of the Demolition.
That was pretty much the end of Demolition, and they were, not who they were. Barry Darso, was in pretty bad shape, if I remember. No, it wasn't Darso. It was the other guy. What the fuck? Because Darso ended up doing the fucking Repo Man thing after.
Yeah. Crush. Brian Adams was.
No, not Crush. Smash.
Smash. He's still alive. He's Barry Darso.
Okay, then it's Axe. Fuck, man. It was Axe for sure. Demolition Axe.
William Reed Eady. Bill Eady.
That's I couldn't fucking for the life of me remember. But Darso did the Repo Man thing. Bill Eady was the one that was like, kind of just done.
Yeah.
But
they were a tag team on the Indies like 5 years ago.
No, I mean that doesn't surprise me not in the slightest. I mean I know they've done some WrestleCons and stuff, and but they were a lot of fun to watch.
They beat the shit out of the Bushwhackers every Saturday.
Yes, sir. Mr. Friend of the show, Crush died. What was it, like 2001 maybe?
Well, I'll tell you right now. Brian Adams died August 13th, 2007, age 43, Tampa, Florida. Yeah. That would have been the year we would have graduated college.
I didn't graduate college.
Right, but I'm just saying
I graduated with a bachelor's in PBR.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that would have been
a master's in bourbon.
You did get a master's in bourbon and in cooking shit as Chef Walter. Yeah. And then he was Kona Crush. Remember Kona Crush?
Kona Crush, brother.
That fucking sucked.
Bro, he was over with the kids.
I mean, the Crush always over with the kids, but yeah, Brian Adams has been dead for a long time.
So, I imagine that we're gonna see Axe and Smash.
Good God.
Get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And
that'd be loved Axe and Smash.
Another name that's been floating around as a possibility for a WWE Hall of Fame induction is the former head of Ohio Valley Wrestling, former creative genius, former promoter,
motherfucker,
booker, current podcast superstar, one James E. Cornette. Motherfucker.
Would love it. Oh my God. Could you imagine them giving him a hot microphone live on WrestleMania weekend?
Absolutely not.
Oh my, they would have to. Like the only way I don't think they're going to let Jim Cornette in like while he's alive. They're only going to induct him posthumously. There's no because if he's alive, he'll be there, and they're going to give him a hot mic, and like he can't you can't the temptation would where it's like your darker like your your dark thoughts like they take over. Like that's how he lives his life. Like the inner voice, like he can't, and you can't give him the microphone. Like Triple H is gonna have to stand next to him whilst he gives his like thank you speech and pull him away if he starts to go. Because like if he starts to go and nobody stops him, oh man. Also, I'd love to see it because man, that would make that the best. Like if that happened this year, it would make that the best Hall of Fame induction of all time. The fact that he's not in it though really is sort of like egregious, if I'm being honest. Like the people that are in it versus who are not in it. Like Jim Cornette should have been in it like 3 times over by now.
I don't disagree.
Like, but I know that like they don't want to just be like, here, Jim Cornette, give an acceptance speech. Like, fuck.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting, but like you said, I think giving Corny a hot mic on a WWE worldwide platform might not be at the tippy top of Paul Levesque's bucket list, but
he Paul, he would have to be feeling real. Let's light this candle. Like that's some Homelander shit is what that is right there. Like that's some like let's fucking like that's like, hey, Vince is coming back and taking back over after WrestleMania. That's like, well, guess we're inducting Jim Cornette and I'm gonna let him go. Like that's that kind of shit. Like that's what that is.
So, friend of the show, Pat Martin has a question. Does WWE give their Hall of Famers a salary like other Hall of Fames do?
I think they get a Legends contract.
Yeah, that's generally my understanding of it.
I don't know what that entails exactly because it's all hush hush, but yes, and I mean, Corny's already bringing in money because like they owe him royalties from anything that they release and is streamed and what have you. So he gets a check already, just because like the network exists and like past, and there's just so much footage of him like via A&E and via like all the round table stuff and just all of the extracurriculars that exist. Like there's residuals from that. So he's already getting a check, but like, yes, he would get some sort of a Legends deal, and it's not a salary per se, but it's more of a like, hey, as we reference this and use this, you get a cut of whatever. Like you get a penny every time this is on TV or whatever. So yes, in a sense.
So I don't know. I just thought that that's kind of just how the Legends deal works, right? And, I don't know. So.
And they can call you and say, hey, we're going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. You want to come to the show? We'll give you a hot mic. Say whatever you want for like 3 minutes. And they go, hell yeah. Whatever.
Hey,
here's $10,000 a year.
So, I don't know. Hall of Fame season, always fun. Always like whenever it shakes out. Be interested to see how the rest of the class lines up. Speaking of another Hall of Famer, it appears that the Road Dogg has been named the co-head writer for WWE SmackDown. And a lot of people are taking this decision to task on the internet.
I saw that, and I'm not like, I was excited about it because like I'm like, oh shit, like Road Dogg writes good stuff.
Yeah, but the argument is that he trashed SmackDown the first time around. That
wasn't his fault.
Yeah, well, AJ Styles has just recently come to his defense on the old Twix machine and said, here, hold on, let me find it. I have it in front of me.
I saw AJ's tweet too.
He says, before judging this guy from his past performance as the head writer, just know that there was a man who picked it apart to the point that it was no longer his idea anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, and I saw that too, and I think AJ's was the face that ran the place at that time. So like, if anybody has the scoop on that shit, it's AJ Styles, right? Like AJ's word to that is, to me, gold. I was fine before AJ said anything, but I'm really glad AJ said something because it's clearly like, oh no, hey, like when Road Dogg was here before, like Vince McMahon like fucking forced Road Dogg to quit basically because Road Dogg came in, wrote a great script, Vince ripped it apart, and like so
That's not good shit, pal. Here, I'll fix it.
yeah, but
Let's
like
talk about butt stuff.
yeah, and like that was the era of like Uzi hot, right? Like we're talking like fucking nonsense era WWE. So it's a very yeah. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy for Road Dogg, and I'm interested.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling a little oozy today, sir.
Feeling a little oozy today. I'm feeling oozy. I'm not feeling not very oozy. I'm feeling pretty oozy.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling a little oozy.
Feeling oozy.
You know, it's always a good thing. Hey, so real quick, a couple things I want to touch on. I didn't watch NXT this weekend, but I do know that Jordan Grace appeared. Why don't you just give me a quick catch up on what happened there?
Say her name and she appears. We believe in Jordan Grace. No, she just showed up. She's in NXT now. That's where she'll be, I think, till post WrestleMania.
Makes the most sense.
The only real
I mean, I understand that Bailey's a chooch,
I mean, I don't think so.
I mean, she just lost the NXT championship match.
Well, yeah, but
she's chooch.
It was a good match, though. It was really good. Like Julia's really.
Did she get pinned? Did Julia pin her?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she's a fucking chooch.
Okay.
If you can listen, if you can talk that shit about fucking Finn Balor, I can say it about Bailey.
All right, fine, but like. They're trying to make Julia a big deal.
Well, Julia is a big deal.
Right. Stephanie Vaquer is a big deal. Like they're trying to make Julia and Stephanie Vaquer very big deals now.
Because they're both big deals.
Yes. So they fed
two of the hottest free agent signings in all of pro wrestling.
Ever. Kind of ever. So the Bailey made Julia look like $10 million. Like that match was incredible.
That's why Bailey was there.
That match was unbelievably good. Like I can't stress enough.
I just don't like that she looks like a chooch, bro.
Look, I didn't like it either, but like I can't stress enough how good that match was, and how good Bailey was, and how good she made Julia look, and how good Julia looked in that match. Like if Julia didn't fall into Bailey's arms and cry to her and say thank you so goddamn, like you've made my life, you've made my career. If she did not cry to Bailey over how amazing Bailey treated her in said match, like that, it's unbelievable. Watching the match was sort of like a little bit gut wrenching and kind of like it was special. I'm just gonna put it that it was special. So it's not as on paper, why is Bailey a chooch? But in practice, it was special. So I would say to watch it and think of it as though this is kind of special, and we're going to look back on this and we're going to go, that was special. Also, Stephanie Vaquer won, and she won the North American title, and in very dominant fashion. And that was also special. That was also really, like, those matches kind of stole the show, if I'm being honest. If it wasn't for Patrick
Martin with the hot take.
Okay, go ahead.
Bailey needs to drop 20 pounds.
No.
Wrong. As a matter of fact, you can just load that thing up on her back every day from now on and just.
Yeah, no, that's
she didn't need to lift. She didn't need to do nothing else in the gym except for squats and stairmasters.
Yeah,
I don't need her to do anything else.
No, I'm going to disagree with Pat. Pat, I love you though, like,
ooh, buddy.
But like, that's a bad take.
That 20 pounds that she added hit all the right places. I'm good, Bob.
None of us. We're all. Walt and I are in agreement with that. She's not lost a step in the ring.
She's not the hugger anymore, Bob. You know what I'm saying?
She's taking 4 steps forward somewhere else. So like we're like in that regard. And I think that at some point, 20 years from now, when they induct Julia into the Hall of Fame, they'll have Bailey do it, and Julia will put Bailey over as saying, "Hey, this was the moment. This was my moment where I really, really became, who I was going to become. This was really what made me me." And I think that's really that this was. I think we're going to look back at this as a pivotal moment in women's wrestling.
No, I completely agree with you, Bob. And like, I don't know, man. It just really hurts my fucking heart that, like, 5 years ago, drunk Aunt Bailey, like, you couldn't miss. Ding Dong Hello got the talk show. She's just fucking, you stupid idiot. Like,
I mean, she still kind of does that shit,
Yeah,
but it's not as over. It's not as much as it was, and I like that better.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, just sent me a text message. He goes, "I knew you guys would say that."
Well, I mean, look, he knows who we are.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
He knows our preferences.
Come on now, man.
What
Dude, that's fucking hilarious, Bob.
What can we say?
Dude, just load the bar up. Just rep it out.
I mean,
God,
just
rep it out. It's just light squats till failure every single day. 2 sets. That's it. Go get you a protein shake. Go sit in the fucking sauna. Just that's all I need her to do.
I think Bailey's career. We're going to look back at Bailey's career as one of the greatest careers in pro wrestling of all time ever. Not just men, women, not just women, not just like ever. Just like, hey, who had a
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
really,
Top 10
really
for sure.
fantastic career from start to finish? Bailey.
I mean, she's living her childhood dream.
Unbelievable. But her childhood dream now she's been living this to fruition for what, 15 years now?
At a pretty fucking high level.
At the highest level. Like, hey, I'm basically the best. You can put anybody in the ring with me, and we're gonna have a good match. And also, I'm gonna hold a title every year for a little while. Sometimes for a couple years in a row.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. She deserved that.
There's like 10 people in the history of wrestling that have done that. And she's one of them.
Shout out to Drunk Aunt Bailey. We love you. We miss you.
Top 10 wrestlers of all time. Period.
No argument from me, sir. None whatsoever. Hey, did Ethan Page get the W over Javon?
Sure fucking did.
Good.
Sure. That shit was that match was like a little bit like, oh God, this is a little. It was gross. Like they did the spot where you put the knee in the step and they kick the knee, they kick the steps into the like that. They did, and Ethan Page got cut the hard way. Like it was. That match was brutal, but yeah, Ethan Page did get the W there.
Good. Can't wait to see where we go with Ethan Page post WrestleMania.
Good shit.
Really looking forward to
that match did not need a title, and it was it delivered on every that match delivered. I went into that sort of with lower expectations, okay, it's a. They got to get 5 matches on this card, and this is one of them. And then I came out of it like, oh, fuck. Ouch. Why are we letting dead air happen? What's going on?
Because you stopped talking.
I didn't have anything else to say.
Why is it the first time I've picked my phone up to send a text message, a work-related text message, all fucking night, you just stop talking.
I don't know, because like there wasn't a
Any
whole
other time, you bail me out here.
All right, fine.
God
Sorry,
bless
it's my
you,
fault.
America.
I'm sorry.
It's not. It's my fault because I'm not paying attention. Okay,
I
it's
apologize.
entirely my fault. But I just cannot sit here and just.
I apologize.
No, you should
Apologize for bailing you out, not
That's-
bailing you out. This
for
one time.
Fuck's sake.
My
Fuck's
diary
sake.
singing.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Shout out to everybody that has an LG dryer that sings to you when you're done.
Oh, that would be fucking annoying.
Dude. So luckily mine is not extremely loud. However, my ex-wife has an LG stove that also sings the same song. For whatever reason, it is cranked to 10. It fucking sings like bah, da, 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 da. It's like I like dropped the kids off like as dinner was being like as the chicken was being done cooked, and like it was like offensively loud. I was like, holy, what is happening? And she was like, oh yeah, it's loud when chicken's done. I'm like, what the fuck? Anyway, LG stoves, loud as hell. That should be their motto, actually. That's a great tagline. Loud as hell.
Just like me.
And apparently it was a good roast chicken, so like, you know, it cooked well too. Like, so loud as hell, cooks well. You're an LG stove. That's you identify as an LG stove. Oven. Like unit, appliance. Yes, Walter?
I'm a boy, Thomas.
You're not a stove?
No,
Not an appliance?
I'm a boy.
Okay. Well, just saying. You and LG ovens have a lot in common. You're loud and
Friend of the show, Pat Martin says, I gotta go, my guys. Can I tell you my match of the week? See what you think.
Yes. Oh my God, please. Because then we got to talk about the Meltzer stuff. Please, Pat.
Yeah,
What
come on,
is
Pat. Like, don't fucking keep us waiting here. If you're still hanging out with us, please hit the thumbs up button. Patrick says, match, Tiffy time.
Oh yeah, Tiffany had a great. I saw her little like swanton into like suicide dive into swanton into like Tiffy's next level.
Well, she's gonna get buried by Charlotte at WrestleMania, so
I hope not, but Tiffy's next level.
I sure hope not too, Tom. You know, as somebody that's got an awful lot of respect for Charlotte Flair and
I think that
what she's achieved, it's 1,000,000% fucking Tiffy time.
I hope that honestly, I hope they have the balls to put Tiffy over hard over Charlotte in a way that like Charlotte's just not ready for Tiffy. And it's like it's not like Charlotte might get a little like flurry in the middle there, but like I hope it's all Tiffy time in this match. And I hope that like Charlotte leaves sort of deflated. And
So
sort of like I fucked up. Like I fucked up.
yeah.
You know?
So let me add a little bit of context to this, right? So our friend of the show here, Mr. Pat Martin, he's been a little late to the party when it comes to modern day women's wrestling, right? And Tiffany Stratton is actually the one that has helped him turn that corner in her in-ring ability and the things that she offers. So, you know, I when Pat says Tiffy time, he fucking means Tiffy time.
I'm really excited to see, because if they go, and I do think that Charlotte will put Tiffy over at WrestleMania.
I sure fucking hope so.
I'm I'm very confident of that right now. And in fact, if I were to bet on WrestleMania, I would bet on Tiffy going over Charlotte. I'm not saying I would bet on Tiffy going over strong against Charlotte, but I'm saying I would bet on Tiffy going over on Charlotte. That being said, I would hope that they put her over strong on Charlotte and Charlotte leaves like shit. Like, because I want Charlotte to like sort of have a like kind of underdog moment, a sort of like, have I lost a step? Kind of, because sort of what they tried to do with Gunther for like a hot second, but then like immediately abandoned. Like, I kind of want Charlotte to like have to second guess herself because she's never had to before. And I feel like her legacy is more attuned to that. Like, it would make more sense. Yeah, thank you. It would make more sense for Charlotte to have that struggle, right? Like, for like to see Charlotte struggle would be interesting because we've not seen that. Like, we've seen Alexa Bliss pick on Charlotte. We get it, Charlotte. You're the best. Nobody can beat you. You're the greatest of all time.
That's really gotten a lot of internet play this past week, by the way.
I mean, and that like that promo is 2 years old, but like Charlotte was out for almost like Charlotte like that was one of the last promos that Alexa Bliss cut, and then Charlotte got hurt like 3 months later. So it's all very relevant. Like, it just.
And while we're speaking on Alexa Bliss, I will stand corrected. She is very much leaning into her Bray Wyatt gimmick.
Yeah,
so,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know that I love that, but
I think she's going to be the leader of the Wyatt Six.
Well, they need something, so hopefully, because the Wyatt Six right now is
Bo Dallas is hurt.
Oh fuck, is he?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Yeah, that'll do that.
Yeah.
Uncle Howdy. Oh, and then she can feud with Uncle Howdy. Maybe she could beat Uncle Howdy because, like, he's sort of a ghost. Have that weird intergender thing happen. I don't know.
He looks like the Colonel.
He does look like he makes delicious chicken.
I mean, it's a dope mask though. It looks
Cool.
like the Colonel.
He does. You're right. Absolutely. It does look like he makes chicken.
Let me tell you, there, boy, that match was finger licking good. Now.
It just sure looks like he makes really good chicken.
Oh shit!
He makes great wrestling, but he makes good chicken. Apparently,
in the words of the late great Colonel Sanders, "I'm too drunk to taste this chicken."
That's a great summation for what's happening with the Wyatt Six right now. And if they want that legacy to happen, if they put that on Alexa Bliss to sort of helm that, I think that's actually a thing she could do.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think that would be great, actually. I think she would actually be better in that role than Bo Dallas is.
Yeah, I think he'll still be there, though. I don't think that they're going to feud. I think
I don't think he'll go
amalgamation.
away.
I think it's going to.
But if they're
going to smooch it together.
Like, they can have him put the thing on and not wrestle and like sort of disappear when action happens, like, and like limp away off camera. And like she can do the talking. She could, like, it'll be great. I think it'll be good.
I say, you think Uncle Howdy's a coward there, boy?
I think he's hurt. I
say
think they're not going to let him wrestle.
I say you better eat some chicken.
I think he's going to go back.
Cheesy pleasy.
I think he's going to go back to catering and do that because I don't think he's going to be allowed to wrestle if he's hurt.
So there you go, Pat. Hopefully we answered your question and we gave you some love on your match of the week. It was a good match. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Really excited for Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I think that is the right match to make.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be interested to see how the build to and the end result is handled. That is really, really going to be the defining moment of how I feel that this feud is being handled.
It could be it could be really great, or it could be like, fuck this. Like, and I will be honest with how I feel about it after I watch it and after it plays out, because I'm intrigued, but also like, and I have like, there's a few things that I'm certain will happen, and I will have thoughts on how well they pull it off, or they could just go hard left based on my thoughts, and it could just be shit, and I will shit all over it and be mega upset about it, and I'll probably dance around. I'll probably get up and like walk around, be like, and because it's fun, and that's what wrestling should make me feel.
Absolutely. Do you know what our next topic? We're just going to go ahead and we're going to get into the meat and potatoes here. I'm starting to get a little towards the end of a time crunch here a little bit too, so we're going to have to
Fired off.
kind of keep that in mind a little bit. So
All right.
we're going to move on to the old Meltzer-Mania Awards, and then we will talk about the future icon of all things WWE, and then we'll go ahead and get match of the week and get on out of here.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards for 2024 have just been announced. Tom and I tend to make this a big production every year. It's generally a standalone show, but we have a lot of things to touch on today. Okay. Interesting. I think they did a little bit better this year. I think we touched on it earlier in the show.
It's less interesting this year to us.
Yeah.
They did better.
So let's just go ahead and get into it. So we've got Best Pro Wrestling Documentary, Mr. McMahon on Netflix, obviously, 278 votes. Best Pro Wrestling Book, I don't read, The Man, Becky Lynch's book. Moving on, this one, no surprise to me. Worst Gimmick, top 3, The Death Riders with 74. The Wyatt 6 at number 2 with 108. And the worst gimmick, but voted on by the listeners, the readers, the subscribers of the Wrestling Observer Newsletter, 144 votes, The Learning Tree, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the, like, fucking go home, please.
Hi, guys.
And the Death Riders being on that list makes sense, too.
Yeah.
Wyatt 6, I don't like it, but I accept it.
So then we go to the opposite side of the coin. We've got the Best Gimmick, top 3 with 93 votes. The Outrunners. Adam Page comes in at number 2 with 109. And at number 1, Tony Storm, 295 votes. No argument from me, nor you, or anybody that is in attendance in this audience.
One of the best things that's happened in the last decade. Amazing. And she won tonight to regain the title. What a fucking love it. No complaints for me. Let's go.
Moving on, Promoter of the Year, Nick Khan, coming in at number 1 with 543 votes. Tony Khan with 201 and Dana White with 185 behind that. Moving on, we've got the Best Booker. We've got number 1 decisively with 497 votes. Paul Levesque. Tony Khan comes in at a real close second with 138 votes.
Ugh. Well, I mean, they are the top 2 wrestling companies, so okay. Who was third? TNA?
Hikaru Okada, 137.
Oh,
137.
That's
New Japan.
New Japan, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
One vote less than Tony Khan.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels had 38 votes at number 5, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, that's undervalued, but you know.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure. Worst promotion of the year. Okay, I didn't. Okay. Number 5 is the PFL, which is the Professional Fighters League. Number 4, AEW, 76 votes. Number 3, WWE with 124 votes. Number 2, AAA with 269, and the NWA finishes number 1, worst promotion of the year, 290 votes.
No, that's
come on.
That checks out.
Come on.
AEW NWA number 1 worst promotion. That checks out.
Yeah, but AEW being least worse than WWE does not check.
I mean, they're just fucking off there. They're jerking each other's dicks is what they
worst feud of the year, Adam Cole versus MJF at number 1 with 424 votes. Of the year, of like the last half decade.
I mean, it's fucking dog shit is what it is.
It finished terribly, but it had a lot of fucking legs when they
2
were
years
in it.
ago.
Yeah, so
I think the problem is that
I think this is unfair.
Well, I think the problem is is that it had legs, and then like they shit in our eyeballs for the finale.
They should have never tried to circle back and finish this.
Should not have, and they should not have flip flopped
in the manner that they did.
Yeah, should not have flip flopped who was the baby face and who was the heel. They fucking terrible, absolutely terrible.
Moving on, worst match of the year. Number 1, Jimmy Uso versus Jey Uso, WrestleMania.
Really?
302 votes.
That wasn't the worst match. There were a lot of worse matches than that.
Hey, bud, we
Shibata exists. Good God, there were a lot of worse matches than that.
I think when they say worst match, I mean, I don't know. Billy
They
Gunn
mean
versus
like
Jey
a match that was
just
hard.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Shibata versus anybody's the worst.
That's a hard one to even like put into a vote. You know what I'm saying? There's
Shibata versus anybody's worst.
There's thousands of wrestling matches, televised wrestling matches that happen every single month.
Shibata had all the worst ones of those.
This is impossible. That's an impossible metric to measure.
And Chris Jericho also had a lot of those.
He's on this list a couple times.
Yeah, well, because he sucks.
Oh no, he's not. I thought I saw his name.
No, he was on as the worst gimmick once, and then they stopped beating him up because he sucked everybody's dick or something. I don't know.
All right, moving on. Worst television show. Number 5, AEW Dynamite. Number 4, WWE Raw. Number 3, NWA Power. Number 2, WWE NXT. And number 1, worst television show, AEW Rampage.
I mean, they got number 1 right.
Yeah, but I don't understand how you get NXT. I don't know.
Like, NXT shouldn't be on there. Raw should not be on there at all. Raw was great. Raw was great all year. All year, Raw was great. Like, you're fucking wrong. Like, you're just fucking wrong. NXT was great all year. You're just fucking wrong. Like, the fact that Ring of Honor didn't have a show. Like, Collision was bad, like, 90% of the year. There were 10. There were probably not 10. There were 52 weeks in the year. There were 5 good Collisions.
Collision's number 7 with only 17 votes.
Okay, because nobody fucking watched.
Yeah. Moving on, we've got the most disgusting promotional tactic. This continues to be year after year. The Meltzer maniacs getting to fucking put their dicks on the table and say, "I'm so much cooler than you." And that's WWE TKO's continued relationship with Saudi Arabia.
I don't know that I can argue with that because that's gross and I don't like it and I hate it.
I know you don't. And like to me, it's
I still hate it. So I'm fine with that. But go on.
I mean,
so let's go with
get over yourself. You know what I'm saying?
What's 1.5? Because like what's 1.5?
WWE booking Liv Morgan sending photos to Dominic Mysterio via text, similar to what was described in the Janelle Grant lawsuit.
Oh no, that was awesome. Fuck them. They're wrong. So wrong. Like that was awesome. What a good.
And then number 3 was AEW airing CM Punk footage.
I mean, that's just petty, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't think that's gross either. Petty is the better answer. They got a rating pop off of CM Punk, and he didn't even work.
Petty. It's not. There's nothing gross about it.
No. Best wrestling maneuver: Will Ospreay Hidden Blade, Will Ospreay Tiger Driver 91, and Adam Page a Buckshot Lariat. Those are top 3.
Okay.
Worst major wrestling show: number 3, WWE SummerSlam from Cleveland. Number 2, WWE.
Fun.
Number 2, WWE Crown Jewel. Number 1, AAA Triple Mania, 485 votes.
Didn't watch that, but like watched a lot of bad AEW shows that suck balls. So
AEW not even in the top 10.
Oh well, they were fucking wrong then.
Not even in the top 10.
Well, they're wrong then because a lot of those shows suck balls.
Here we go. Best major wrestling show. Number 3, AEW All In from London. Number 2, WWE WrestleMania Night 2 from Philly. And number 1, AEW Revolution, Greensboro, 506 votes.
No. I did watch that. No. Disagree.
I mean, number 10, WWE Backlash, AEW Forbidden Door, WWE Bad Blood. Number 7, AEW World's End, Stardom Dream Queendom. Number 5, AEW Dynasty, AEW All Out, and then AEW All In, WrestleMania, and AEW Revolution, 10 through 1. Seems a little biased to me.
Sure does.
Moving on, worst television announcer. Number 3, Jim Ross with 60 votes.
I mean, he was only on like 3 shows last year.
Number 2, Pat McAfee with 134 votes.
Get the fuck out.
And number 1, overwhelmingly, number 1, Booker T, 379 votes.
Yeah, how is this not Excalibur? Where's he fall on this list?
He's number 4 with 54 votes.
Yeah, he fucking sucks. Shut the fuck up, Excalibur.
Corey Graves and Shivani are tied at 6 with 43 votes. Michael Cole's at number 8 with 42 votes. Taz is at number 9 with 24.
Shivani should really be number 1. It should be Shivani, Excalibur, and then like...
I knew this one would get your knickers in a bunch.
Yeah, Shivani, Excalibur, then kind of I don't care. Booker T's fine at number 3.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Booker T's commentary at all. I think he adds a certain level of passion
and like know-how. Like the guy has clearly done it all like 8 times over. So.
Well, I mean, he is a 5-time
No, it's
champion.
Is he 5 or is it 6?
Well, he's actually 6, but he's stuck to the 5 gimmick.
I think it's 6. Yeah,
it is 6, but he's stuck to the 5 gimmick.
But
and he's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
2-time, yeah. Because I mean, he's fucking great. Yeah, no, Booker shouldn't be like. If you want to put Booker at 3, fine, but it should be Excalibur, Shivani, everybody else.
Moving on, we've got the best television announcer.
Go ahead and tell me who number 1 is. Just start at 1. Who's 1? 1 back. Let's go.
Starting at number 4, we have Michael Cole with 105. Number 3, we have Walker Stewart with 143.
Walker Stewart? Would have like 8 people heard him call a match? Okay, Walker Stewart.
And the best television announcer, according to Wrestling Observer Newsletter subscribers, with 314 votes.
Like 5
edging out the close-ish number 2 with 197 votes, Nigel McGuinness over Excalibur.
So not Nigel over Excalibur. First of all, Excalibur should not be on this list. Nigel's great, really. So Nigel's number 1?
Nigel's number 1, yes.
Okay. So Nigel's great. He really saves. I think that everybody around Nigel is so bad that Nigel just looks so goddamn good, and I think that's really what it is. It's like
that's a WWE background, Bob.
Like, do you remember when like Jaromir Jagr was like the captain of a really bad Penguins team, and he was still like leading in like points, assists, all kind of other shit, but like. He was the captain of a Penguins.
Because Jaromir Jagr is what the kids today would call him.
Yeah. So, like, Nigel is great, but everybody around him is so fucking bad.
So then, if he's Jaromir Jagr, then who's his Ken Regan?
Riccaboni?
Okay. All right. I like that. That was a good answer.
Yeah.
Ian Riccaboni. I'm actually okay. We're good. We're good. Moving on. We've got best non-wrestler. Number 3, Prince Nana. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm good with him being number 3 on this list. Number 2, Don Callis, 279.
Now, fuck him.
And then number 1 with an overwhelming 405 votes. Ladies and gentlemen, my name.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Paul
That's even.
Heyman.
This was a rough year because, like, he wasn't on TV much this year. Like, this was not Paul Heyman's year to be number 1 in that category. But yeah, no, okay, I'm good with that.
Rookie of the Year, number 1, 325 votes to Jada Parker. At number 2, 82 votes. Javon Evans
Okay, I
is
can see that
Rookie of
too.
the Year.
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair? You think he's done enough to be Rookie of the Year? He's only in the position that he's in because he's working with Ethan Page.
I mean, those matches have been really good, though. That was a really good match, like yesterday. That might have stole the show. That was a really good match.
All right, I'll check it out. Most underrated, Takeshita with 126 votes. Chad Gable right behind him with 125.
Okay.
I don't know that Takeshita's underrated, right? Like, it's kind of a big deal to AEW. Or are we talking like underrated from the standpoint of the IWC? Or are we talking? I mean, I guess so because it's the Meltzer Mania Awards and it's focused around the IWC.
I think that Meltzer thinks. I think that Meltzer thinks that he ought to have been AEW champion already, and maybe that's kind of the problem. But I think that like fucking underrated. If we're talking underrated, I mean, how are we not like talking about like now? I mean, now maybe. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I just don't.
Moving on, we've got most overrated Nia Jax with 143, Solo Sikoa with 135, CM Punk with 103. I don't agree with any of that.
All those.
I think Nia Jax is voted most improved, that's why that I think the Wrestling Observer newsletter subscribers are touting her as overrated. Moving on, best high-flying wrestler, Will Ospreay with 318, Commander with 273.
Commander's knocked himself unconscious too many times to be on this list.
Okay, moving on. The Bruiser Brody Memorial Award, which is for Best Brawler, Adam Page, number 1. Bryan Danielson Award, Best Technical Wrestler, Zack Sabre Jr., 565. Bryan Danielson, 345.
Those are the only guys in that category.
Yeah, though. I mean, there's some other dudes here. Will Ospreay's on this list. Gunther is actually on this list with 19 votes.
Oh wait, Gunther exists on this list?
Yeah, that's I'm actually really proud of the subscribers that he's on that list. That means they're actually paying attention.
Yeah, well, but not enough because obviously if he's on this list, he should have won. But okay, all right.
Come on, bro.
Okay.
Most charismatic, The Rock. Okay. Most improved, Kyle Fletcher, 277. Harley Cameron with 131.
I'd take Harley over Kyle Fletcher, but okay. Harley Cameron has been amazing. Like this, she has turned what has been a fucking wet turd of Mercedes Moné into like goddamn interesting. Single-handedly.
Palatable.
Like Harley Cameron is the next. She did not do as well as Toni Storm, but like that. Huh?
I heard somebody making chicken tendies.
No, put clothes in the dryer.
Are you sure?
Making chicken tendies?
An awful lot like chicken tendies.
She laughed. It's putting clothes in the dryer.
Are you holding out tendies on me over there, bro?
I wish I was. I would not hold out. Number one, I wish there were tendies. Why are you making us tendies, Walter? Is what Ashley said.
Are you hiding tendies over there?
I wish I was hiding tendies. I wish I had honey mustard too, honestly.
I'm watching you.
No, we're out. We gotta go to BJ's.
Bro, I'm not gonna warn you again. Okay.
What else is on this list? Although I already
not fucking BJ's, I'll tell you that.
BJ's on the list.
Best box office draw. Number 3, Roman Reigns. Number 1, The Rock. Or number 2, The Rock. Number 1, Cody Rhodes. There's no votes there. So that's I don't know. Feud of the year.
I think that's numbers. And that probably makes sense. For 20.
Feud of the year, number 3, Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline. Number 2, Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland with 326 votes. Number 1 feud of the year, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, 341 votes.
Yeah,
I feel like if this is the same thing, but last year at this time, Adam Page and Swerve Strickland wins because the bias is so strong a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that was really one of the only good, like, the Tony Storm Mariah May was.
It's on here at number 4, 80 votes.
Okay, but that was really good. So if you're gonna put an AEW feud on there, I think that's the one. I think Tony Storm carried that a little too hard. I think it wasn't as strong on both ends as the other feuds on there. But yeah. I'm good with all of them. 4 through 1.
Yeah, no issues here. Moving on, we've got pro wrestling match of the year: Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson in St. Louis, 552 votes over Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland and Sting and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. This list is just, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre is number 5 on this list. There's just, you're not going to convince me that the Young Bucks versus Sting and Darby was better than that, even though that match was really good.
But it wasn't better because that's the one where Punk threw the.
Yeah, that's Atlanta. That's 10-5. That's Hell in a Cell.
That's not. No, that match gave us, like, it made me gag. It gave me chills. Like, the Bucks. There we go. Have never. No, they've not hit that level. And that's not okay. Like, I love Sting, and you're right. It was a great retirement match, but it's not a top 10. It's not a top 5 match of the year.
It was a feel good moment that it was meant to be. And it
was a feel good. Exactly. It was a feel good moment, not a match of the year candidate.
Moving on, best weekly television show: number 3, Raw.
No.
Number 2, SmackDown. Number 1, AEW Dynamite.
Yeah, no. Viewers don't agree either.
Yeah, no. What did they do this week? 567,000.
It's a bad number, and it's a bad show. Like, they had a few weeks of brilliance, and but it's a bad show. Why are we still why is it so hit and miss, hit, miss? It's fucking get your head out of your ass. Stop it. Stop fucking this up.
Yeah, what he said. Moving on, promotion of the year: number 3, CMLL. Number 2, with 212 votes in a losing effort to 570 votes. All Elite Wrestling. Number 1. Number 1. All Wrestling Entertainment. No. WWE was actually voted number 1.
Oh. Obviously it is. Okay, so I don't disagree with this.
No,
WWE is number 1.
AEW is number 2. CMLL is number 3.
Okay, that's fine. For 2024, that makes sense.
Best on interviews: number 3, Adam Page. Number 2, The Rock. Number 1, Drew McIntyre.
Absolutely.
He's on a run of his fucking career.
Absolutely.
Tag team of the year: number 3, FTR. Number 2, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And number 1, the greatest tag team in the history of AEW, the Young Bucks.
Were they even on TV last year?
Yeah. 24, they were on TV a lot. They've taken a little break ski. I don't agree with that at all. Moving on, most outstanding wrestler: number 3, Takeshita. Number 2, Bryan Danielson. Number 1, Will Ospreay.
Bryan Danielson hasn't wrestled since June.
But these are also 2024 awards.
But
he had a pretty solid fucking year.
He didn't wrestle.
He's the world champion though too, bud.
For a minute.
Yeah, but
ruined a good title run.
Run some good matches.
3, 4?
I'm just saying. I'm not here to defend it, man. But Gunther's the only one on this list, so I don't know.
All right. All right. I don't.
And that's
Okay.
most outstanding wrestler, like actual wrestler.
Okay.
Okay, and then you got the Luthez Ric Flair Award, which is the Wrestler of the Year.
Okay.
Number 5, getting his flowers a little bit. You know what? No, I'm gonna do 10 up because this is the last category.
All right.
Number 10, tied with 162 votes, CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Okay. That was number 10.
That was number 10.
All right.
Number 9, Gunther with 188 votes.
Okay.
Number 8, Saray, I'm fucking 202 votes.
Sorry. No, it's not Soraya.
No. Number 7, Roman Reigns, 206 votes.
Okay.
Number
he
6,
was absent most of 2024.
Yeah.
So.
Number 6, Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Number 5, a little bit of respect, Swerve Strickland, 744 votes.
Okay.
Number 4, Mystico with 786 votes.
Why? Okay.
I'm assuming he's probably been doing some shit.
Okay.
Number 3, Bryan Danielson, 938 votes.
Wrestled 4 matches this year.
Number 2, Will Ospreay, 2,571 votes. Number 1, everybody's favorite indie darling, the son of a plumber's kid, Cody Rhodes. Whoa!
I mean, Cody wrestled a lot this year, so I feel like that makes sense because he actually did the work. But, like, I don't know. Wouldn't hate to see Cody lose. There was a point in time a year in that I would have hated to see Roman lose, right? Like, I wouldn't hate to see Cody lose at this point. I kind of wanted Kevin to win last week or 2 weeks ago or whenever that was. I don't know. Kevin Owens is still right.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No.
So how do we feel about these Meltzer Awards this year? Awards. How do you feel personally in your soul, in the subcockles of your heart? Are you frozen? You're gone? Are you gone? Did you look away and the world froze? You haven't blinked, so he's gone. Oh no, he's gone. He hasn't blinked. If you're actually just not blinking and not frozen, I kind of think I'm going to become a big screen here in a second. You're really trying not to blink right now, huh? Oh, I'm gone. I said it. Oh, he's back. Okay, good. I was worried. I was talking. I'm like, wait, are you stunning me? Are you like not blinking? How are you not blinking?
My computer kind of shit the bed here, so we're gonna have to call an audible.
Okay.
So I was done.
You were going. And you didn't blink. And I'm like, are you gonna blink? Are you gonna blink? Why aren't you blinking? Are you doing this on purpose? This is amazing. And then we went black, so it was fine.
So I'm gonna go ahead and forgo match of the week this week. Just gonna get up out of here because I don't know what's going on with this fucking thing over here. So yeah.
It was Obafemi versus A-Town Down Under. It's the match of the week. It's great. Go watch. It's great.
Okay, I will for sure.
It's the one. It's the one.
For sure. I enjoyed The Miz versus LA Knight, and I enjoyed Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest. You'll really enjoy that one once you get to sit down and watch SmackDown. So
I do want to watch it. I'm going to put it on now.
So, all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Hey, check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_W or WC. Check us out, over there. That's ONE. I'm all discombobulated now. Okay, man. It's been a lot of fun. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for hanging out. It's all love. One Fall WrestleCast. All fucked up. Discombobulated.
We're coming to visit.